middle, off left side to Seagens. 3 steps into it, got it. Bang! Harang! Gordon. Mia, skip back left side, Gary's 3, got it! Huskers are on fire from 3. Stepping into the 3 is the Seagens, got it! Bang! Harang! Connor Seagens. He's picked up right where he left off on Wednesday with a career high 29. Quick pass up top left side, pump fake, sidestep, Williams 3, got it! Puts it up, got it! Huskers have a 100-burger! The Huskers will go 6-1 on the year and an impressive, very impressive win over a quality North Florida team.
Those are the Hy-Vee sounds of the game as we welcome you into our very first Nebraska basketball show of the season alongside the head coach Fred Hoiberg. I'm Jessica Coody. Well, Coach, a month into the season, 6-1 to start the year. What are your big takeaways over the first month of the year?
Well, we're definitely moving in the right direction, and it's a team with obviously a lot of new faces, and you do everything you can to prepare them once you start playing regular season games, but you really don't truly know what you have until you get out there. I thought early on we were forcing a little bit too much, trying to make plays in the paint that weren't there, but we've really grown in that area, starting with a Creighton game. We did some good things in St. Mary's, but there were a lot of mistakes that we ended up learning from that I think helped us win that Creighton game, and then have had 2 of our better performances of the season in the last 2. So I like the direction we're moving in. Offense is catching up to the defense, and hopefully a lot of good days ahead.
All right, coming up on the show today, we're going to take a look back at the Huskers' big win over North Florida. But up next, we're going back to revisit the win over Creighton. Keep it here on the Nebraska Basketball Show. Welcome back to the Nebraska Basketball Show. We're going to go back to November 22nd, the big win over then ranked number 14 Creighton for the Huskers on the road. And Jawan Gary really got you guys off to a great start.
Yeah, I thought Jawan, looking back at that game, he really took a step in the right direction with his leadership, and I thought he was the voice that we needed all week after that St. Mary's loss, and he got us off to a great start. Not many people can say they go into the CHI Center and win both times you play there, and both of those games by double digits, but I just was really pleased with Jawan with what he did as far as his leadership leading into this game.
Scores the first 5 points of the game. The Huskers never trailed throughout this one, but really you could tell your team was locked in defensively from the start.
We were. I thought we did a great job following the game plan from start to finish. We had to. Kalkbrenner was putting at the time, I think, 28 points and almost 13 rebounds. And we had to do a good job, first of all, getting back in transition and then trying to limit his touches. And I think we held him to 1 field goal attempt, and it was a 3. So we did not give him a 2-point attempt the entire game. So our guys were really on point as far as what we needed to do defensively.
Bryce Williams there with the jumper, and throughout this game, really, you saw different guys step up at different moments, really balanced scoring effort.
We did, and going back to that clip where Burke got the deflection, we turned him over 17 times. That's really hard to do against a Creighton team. They don't turn it over, and the other thing we did is we got to the free throw line 30 times, and you have to find a way to manufacture those types of points, especially when we're not shooting the ball at that time of the year. We were not shooting the ball very well, so. But we did. I thought we were very balanced. Started out with Jawan, then Bryce had a stretch. We really got it going, and then Connor was phenomenal, hitting the bank open, I think on the Sunday there. But it was a Friday. But anyway, it was a really good game by Connor. Burke was terrific all game long. Certainly his best game at the time as a Husker. These are the ones he can't have. He can't give them free ones. But I think it was about the only miscue that we had that led to a transition basket for Creighton.
You guys were coming off the loss to St. Mary's. It seemed like just this team was ready to get back out on the court and respond from that one.
They did, yeah. We had a very tough film session with our guys after the St. Mary's game because we felt that we had a great chance to win it. We just made too many unforced mistakes in that game, and we, part of that was the fire. We had 4 fire alarms go off between 1 and 3 in the morning. That didn't help, but our guys, I give them a lot of credit. They responded well to a couple tough days of practice, and again, it paid off. Great play by Jawan here. Sam getting his hands, contesting the pass, and getting the run out. You need those again on the road, and I thought we controlled tempo, Jessica. That was important in this game. You can't try to get in a running match and go toe-to-toe with Creighton in their building.
Creighton shot a lot of threes in this one. A lot of that is because of how hard you guys were making it inside. Yeah,
they did, and we knew that they would. And we had to have some cooperation. They missed a few that they may normally make, but again, I just thought our intensity on that end, getting a big basket going into half to put us up double digits, that was an important play.
So here's second half action now. Creighton gets the dunk, and so it seems like every time they made a run, your guys would respond.
They did respond, and again, we knew, and we talked a lot about that during the week, is they're going to make a run. And no doubt about that. In their home building, their crowd was going to get loud, but our guys did a great job, withstanding all that. Huge shot here by Jawan at the end of the shot clock, and we did have an answer. Every time they went on a little bit of a run, we found a way to respond.
What was it that your guys inside were doing so well against Kalkbrenner? He only got one shot off and didn't make it, only 4 points on the day.
Yeah, we did a good job getting on his high side, and then we had good backside support. And then our rotations were crisp for the most part, pretty much all game long. We knew we'd have to take some of these mid-range shots. Bryce hit him in the first half. Connor got it going, just ran a little motion game. Told him go find him when Connor gets it going like that. And our guys did a good job screening, and again, Connor knocking down some tough mid-range shots.
Connor, 15 points off the bench, did a lot of his damage in the second half. Also, Raleigh Worcester was making some big plays for you guys in the second half.
Yeah, it's great to have a guy with that type of experience with Raleigh, who's played in some big games. He's played a lot of college basketball, and he really did make some clutch plays for us.
Some threes made by Creighton again, like you said, that they're going to knock down a few of those.
Yeah, the biggest thing going into the game plan, you can't give them threes and the paint. Last year when we got hammered by Creighton, not only did they get us on three-point line, but they got a lot of dunks in the paint as well. I thought we did a good job taking away the paint and forcing them to make threes, which we knew they'd make some. But overall, we held them to a good percentage from behind the arc and did not give them a lot of easy baskets.
So can you guys never trail in this one? You're talking about one of the top offenses in the country that you hold to their season low. You were really proud of the defensive effort and the game plan by your assistant coach, Nate Linzer.
Yeah, Nate, he's one of the best in the business, and he does a little bit of everything for us, puts a game plan together. He and I meet about it and make sure we're on the same page. But yeah, he did a phenomenal job of putting together a great game plan for this game.
74-63, the final in this one. Again, you have 5 guys in double figures, and it just seemed like anytime you need somebody to step up, somebody was there to deliver.
Yeah, and playing through the runs. That's the thing I was most proud of. We're going to have to continue to do that in league play as we hit the road.
All right, we're going to get to another break here on the Nebraska Basketball Show, but coming up next, we're back to take a look at the highlights of the win over North Florida. Keep it here. That was a look at the Ide Bailey inside the numbers as we welcome you back to the Nebraska Basketball Show. All right, the Huskers' last win was a big one, a really offensive explosion over North Florida. But North Florida came in. That was a team that had already won some big games coming into this one and was a great three-point shooting team. Yeah,
they made the most threes of any team in the country coming into this one, and that's who they are. Knocked down the first one, but I thought we were really on point from that moment forward. And they beat Georgia Tech and South Carolina, 2 good teams, ACC, SEC schools. And like you said, Jessica, shooting 58, almost 59% in the first half, 57 in the second half. And Connor just really had it going again, hitting 6 threes on 8 attempts in this game. We did think there were some things we could expose them on this end of the floor, as long as we took away their confidence and didn't let them get going early. And you see the score, 18-4. Early, very important, we felt, to get off to a hot start in this game.
Bryce Williams, he's playing some good basketball.
He really is, yeah. He's playing probably the best basketball of his career, and great play by Aaron. I thought Aaron was terrific in this game as well. But overall, yeah, it was just one of those games where I thought everybody was locked in, followed the game plan, did a good job. I think they shot 44 threes, if I'm not mistaken. But overall, did a good job limiting them, and then just again offensively, 22 assists and only 6 turnovers in this game.
Yeah, I was going to mention the passing of the basketball. You guys seem to be finding the open guy.
Yeah, we did. That's about as good as we've been as far as making simple plays. We felt if we didn't over penetrate, came to a jump stop, we'd get some wide open looks, and give our guys credit. They did a good job knocking them down.
On these highlights, we're seeing the made threes, but they missed several, and your guys did a good job rebounding the three, which is not always easy to do.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of their highlights right now. but yeah, good take by Jawan. Again, we felt that we'd have a good matchup with him against their 4-man, and then just a heck of a finish there by Bryce in transition. And yeah, we just felt overall we did have some really good matchups that we could take advantage of.
Should mention no Berke Butengel in this one, but your guys stepped up. Aaron Eulis had 10 points in this one, and you like the way he pushes the pace.
Yeah, he's been great. That was a really good simple play to Kale. Kale playing off 2 feet, hitting Connor coming down. We've talked about finding Connor in transition, and again, our guys did a good job with that, getting 6 threes, and I think he only played 20 minutes and had career high. I think he had 29 points in the previous game, and then another really big night on this one as well.
Connor Essegian has those nights that shooters dream about.
You know, he's just one of those guys where you're surprised when it doesn't go in when he's having this type of night. That's to be able to shoot those. When he was struggling a little bit early, I just talked to him about getting back to fundamentals, landing, sticking his landing, and then as he gets it going, now he can do anything. The thing I loved about Connor in this game is the 5 assists. And, it wasn't just scoring the basketball. He made plays for his teammates. A great play by Raleigh there to find the hot hand.
Defensively, Nate Linzer said he didn't love the start out of the halftime for your guys on the defensive end.
Yeah, that was the one disappointing moment for us is I thought those first 4 or 5 minutes, we just kind of traded baskets with them. Thankfully, we kept scoring to keep that lead, between 15 and 25 points. And that had a great finish. I was really pleased with how we finished this game.
Your guys really spread the ball around. This is another game you had 5 players in double figures, and you've seen the ball really spread around, and your guys are finding the hot hand when they need to.
Yeah, good play by Sam right there. Again, everything you see in the paint is playing off 2 feet right now, and making those simple plays. You have to do that. This is another little run. We ended up going small because they were exposing us with our bigger lineup, and then once we went small, that's when we opened things up again. And that's the thing I love about this group is you have good versatility out there on the floor to play different lineups.
Here's Sam knocking down the 3. Kel Jacobson had a heck of a game for you guys in this one.
Kale's been rock solid for us, and he's always in the right spot, making the right play, and knows where to be on both ends of the floor. He actually played the 5 offensively for us. Great play here by Bryce, getting Braxton. I think Braxton, all 6 of his field goals were dunks. And, again, I just everybody that stepped on the floor. It's one of those games that you love because everybody that stepped on the floor had an impact.
Here is Aaron Eulis. Nice take to the rim, and then offensive rebound there.
Yeah, good to see Gavin get one in the hole. And Gavin, those are ones that hopefully can lead to him knocking down some shots from the perimeter. We're gonna need that as we move forward.
You had mentioned the balanced scoring. Bryce Williams seems to be really aggressive here to start the year.
Yeah, Bryce is, I love his aggressiveness. We need him. He's kind of got the role that we had Casey in last year. I love to see Jeff Grace, guy that does a lot of things for our program, get an opportunity to go out there. Henry Burt, all those guys that help us with the scout team stuff, get an opportunity to get out there in a game.
103-72 the final, and again the 18 points. Juwan Gary 22 from a Connor Essegian, very efficient for him. Bryce Williams 17, Andrew Morgan with 13, and Aaron Eulis with 10. Just really great offensive numbers, which I know you were excited to see.
Yeah, it is. They get over 100 points, and I know the fans love to see that. And one guy I didn't talk a lot about was Andrew in that game. I really did think Andrew had a big impact in the paint, did a good job scoring around the rim, and he even missed a couple little bunnies. He very easily could have had a 20-point night. But he's going to be an important part of our team here moving forward.
And another team you hold to their season low, which is it seems to be an ongoing theme with your guys.
Well, that team had 105 against Georgia Tech, and they had a 22-point lead at one point in that game. So there was a lot of anxiety going into that North Florida game. But again, give our guys credit for going out and following a great game plan.
All right, up next, it's time for this week's Cornhusker Conversation. For this week, I sit down with Juwan Gary. Keep it here on the Nebraska Basketball Show. Welcome back to this week's Nebraska Basketball Show. For this week's Cornhusker Conversation, I got a chance to sit down with Juwan Gary. And again, the Cornhusker Conversation presented by Woodhouse.
Back to Wooster, 6 on the shot clock. Wooster puts it on the floor, knocked free into the hands of Morgan's got to throw it up. Now Gary puts it up. Got it! Got it at the shot clock buzzer.
Well, Juwan, can you believe it's this time of year again and it's time to get this kicked off again?
I'm glad it's here. Been a fun summer, meeting the new guys, transfer, stuff like that, the freshmen. But, I'm glad that we're back in the position where it was starting last year for sure.
You had have said before you didn't know much about Nebraska when you decided to come here. Where do you feel like you've grown the most, just from when you stepped foot here in Nebraska to where you are now?
You got to go somewhere uncomfortable to get comfortable. I'm 20 hours away from home. That was a big thing from my first year, but now it's like, this is basically my home now. Like, I feel comfortable anywhere I go around here. I feel comfortable talking to people, conversate with them, interact with the kids, doing events, do the small things that when I do leave here, I do have a home to come back to for sure.
For you, you become known as, the physical guy and the defensive stopper, and you take a lot of pride in that. Where does that come from? Why are you wired and like, I'm going to be the guy on the defensive end?
Because, A lot of people don't want to do the small things. People don't want to do the things that's considered hard. Diving on the floor, getting 10 and 12 rebounds a game, stopping one of the best players on the court, Of course, people want to score the basketball. That's God-given. A lot of people want to put the basketball on the hoop, but, who's going to actually stop a person from scoring 15, 20 points a game?
What is the key? What goes into being an elite rebounder like yourself?
I would say ball placement. I feel like you got to have the urge to go get the ball, for sure. I feel like, some people legit think the ball is going to, bounce in your hands, But for my size and position, I'm quicker than most of the guys, for sure. So I know I'm, more athletic too. So this me going to get the ball, like, in the day, like, 1-2 more possessions than what you have feel way more better than one and done.
We've talked a lot about your defense and rebounding, but how much has your game grown on the offensive end under Coach Hoiberg and this coaching staff?
I think I've spent countless hours just working on my shooting, just being a consistent shooter, knock down the open shots, making the right reads, survey the court, or even, make the right decision at the right time. Because now it's like, I did this before, I did this last year, I did it the year before that. So now I know exactly what to do and when to do it. So it's like now I can actually work on my, skill set, my shooting a little bit more now, just because I know what to do on the offensive end. So just being under Fred Hoiberg, one of the best shooters I ever known, for sure. Like, he praised that. I love him for the time he put in just to, work with me with my shots.
Last thing I got, just going into what's going to be your final year. This is it for you. What's your approach to it? How are you going about just making sure you're making the most of it?
Just one day at a time. Of course it's sad. You've been through a lot through college. Like, you got your ups, you got your downs, you got your W's and your L's. But I would think, I'll take for this last year, just, somewhere I could actually, set my mark in Nebraska to where, like I said, 10 years, 15 years down the road, I could actually just come back and just, get the worship of, okay, this is the one I get. Like, he's been on the team that, that made to the NCAA tournament and won a couple games in there. Like, they made Nebraska basketball well known again, stuff like that. I just want people to know that I legit gave my 110% on every game, every court, and no matter what it is, I don't care if I'm scoring 0 or 10%, 10 points or 20 points, I'm gonna go out there and get 100% to anybody, for sure.
Coach, he's been so good for you guys this year on both ends of the floor. I know you're glad to have him back for this season.
Yeah, he's done, I've been so thankful to be able to coach Juwan. It's going to be hard to see him on senior night when he graduates, but he's been everything to this program, his toughness. He just does a little bit of everything out there on the court, and it's going to be tough to replace him next season.
All right, we're back to wrap up the Nebraska basketball show with final thoughts from Coach Hoiberg coming up. Welcome back. Final quick segment here of the Nebraska basketball show. Coach, with the way the schedule goes, you got a couple of Big Ten games here early in December. What are you looking for out of your team here? It's important to get off to a good start in conference play.
It is. You learn a lot about yourself in the December 2 games you play before playing a couple more non-conference. We go to Hawaii for our multi-team event where we'll play 3 games, have one more bye game before we head into the remaining 18. So, yeah, you learn a lot about early in the season. 2 very tough teams with Michigan State and Indiana. And whatever happens, we're going to grow, we're going to learn, and hopefully become a better basketball team.
All right, we'll be back next week to break down the first game in conference play against Michigan State. Thanks for watching this episode of the Nebraska Basketball Show.